Get the tools you need to become a free and independent trainer with my Dumbbells to Dollars course at www.dumbbells2dollars.com. How are you doing, everybody? Jonathan here. And in this video, and in maybe, 10 minutes or less, I have got Robert Linkle, FitBOSS from the West Coast, back on to help delve more into the topic of bringing on older clients, and not only how do you train them, but how do you acquire them? So I know that a lot of you are asking, well, this is a great demographic, but I don't know how to get them in front of me. We're going to answer that for you. So Robert, welcome. Thank you for coming on down.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely. Anytime. And so yes, that's been the big question since we unveiled this demographic that needs a lot more attention. Everybody's like, great, I like the idea of training older clients. I'm glad that they're interested in training, but I don't know how to get them in front of me. So what would be your advice on acquiring these people or getting their attention?
There's two ways to go about it, in my opinion. I do a talk called referral generation, not lead generation. And when I look at lead generation, what I feel like that means is some kind of marketing, some kind of discount, some kind of mass email, something that is intriguing the consumer, typically based on price or low price. But this demographic's not looking for that. They're looking for a quality of a service. They'll pay for a better service. So we don't want lead generations. We need someone that is going to speak for us and an experience in which the new consumer coming in or their prospect gets to experience our service and see what we're about. So I would rather have more opportunities for my current clients to bring more people that are like them. I like to say that cool people that I train hang around other cool people. It's not typical that they'll be around somebody that's complete different, the complete opposite of them. So if they are wanting to bring somebody in, or I'm giving them an opportunity to, typically they're going to bring in somebody that's like mindset and that they'd want to continue to work out with, then they'll have the same qualities in the sense that I'm looking for in the quality of a client that I want to work with. So when we have that potential, I provide as many of those as I can. And most trainers are like, so that means that you invite them to bring in a friend. There's one thing to say you can always bring in somebody when you want to, and there's another thing to say these are the opportunities in which we're going to invite your people to come with us. It's the difference of like, John, you and I should get together for lunch sometime, or me saying, next Tuesday at noon, what are you doing? Can we do lunch? Okay, there are two very different approaches. One is very open. It's like, I like you, but not enough to really secure something. The other one is, I want to put this down in my schedule book now. Let's make this happen. Let's make it official. So when you have opportunities like that, don't just say like, you can bring somebody anytime you want. Say, next Tuesday when you come in, who do you want to bring in for our couple of examples we have? We do one on Valentine's Day or the Saturday of Valentine's Day called Strengthen Your Relationship Workout.
I like
in many cases, we love this one. So this is, 14 years, 13 years, something like that. We've been doing this. So we invite all of our current clients to bring in their significant other, their a spouse, their family member, anybody they have a relationship with. It doesn't have to be their husband or their wife or so on. And anybody that they want to come in, and we do a partner give and go workout. 30 seconds on, switch to the partner, 30 seconds on, whatever we want to create. And so that gives the individuals they're bringing in an opportunity to have this great high energy environment. They get to see my personality. We got music going. We got the whole gym's rocking. And then when we get done, I personally hand them their invite that says, this is good for our free strategy session, our sit down. I'm going to give you the tour of the whole gym. We're going to go through your health history, any physical limitations. I'm going to take you through our philosophy, talk to you about all of our programming and how, with the information you give me about you, I'm going to build a program for you. So when do you want to do that? Next Tuesday at noon, next Thursday at noon, next Friday at 7, whatever you have available, right? So they've experienced it. They love it. Hopefully they're in the mood right then to say, like, I definitely want to do this. And you're there with options, 3 or 4 options open for them to book it, rather than just handing that to them on the way out and saying, thank you for coming, right? So You create those opportunities for them. We do a fall prevention class every year. And this is open to anybody. We go to retirement homes and we invite folks. We talk to all of our clients about their friends, their neighbors, call it the circle of 3, their friends, their family, and their coworkers or their colleagues. And we say, like, who do you know that's probably over the age of 40 that's had any kind of physical limitation, or your parents or your grandparents or your great grandparents, right? That anybody really is a fall hazard or fall risk if they're undertrained or not trained at all. And then if there's potential as they age to fall and get more damaged, this is a great opportunity for them to experience what could occur to them, what exercises we would do to help them. And then we give them little homework, little exercises they can do in there. Simple things, standing on one foot and bouncing a lacrosse ball. A lot of the clients come into that first one, they can't stand on one foot. I'm sitting there spotting next to them while we're trying to do this. And we give them a post to hold on to, and they're like, I can't do anything. And then I show them videos of their buddies. They're sitting next to them in class doing these things, right? So it's just opportunities like that. We do community workouts. We do a Fight for Goodwill workout on Thanksgiving every day. I have a Golf Strong class that we bring in where we teach everybody to come in and what mobility, strength, and exercises they could do to help with their golf game. We have a Ski Strong one. We have an outdoorsman. We have a big hunting community here, a lot of hiking, a lot of hunting. So we do one for that. We do a health screen day where we bring them in and just check their flexibility, mobility. We do the heart and blood pressure. We can do those. We do a hip, knee, and back care class. We do an ergonomics of posture, and they're standing where they're sitting in their car, when they're standing at their desk, sitting at their desk. So any of those things, just opportunities to get them in the door, to come in and experience you, see what you're about, see what services you provide, and then the opportunity to book that opportunity or that appointment right then.
I like it. I like it a lot. One of the main things that really sticks out, there are two things. Number one is going to be the fall prevention class, because that's an easily understandable, topic for people that are older. Somebody who is 40 may not need a fall prevention class, but that's something that can resonate with them. Thinking I don't want my parent to fall. That's, I think, very much more specific to the older audience. Now, in terms of how you acquire clients, I think it makes a lot of sense to draw hard lines. That's kind of a universal thing, as opposed to saying, all right, bring a buddy day, where with my boot camp, for me, every first Monday of the month is, since I have BFF boot camp, it's bring your BFF to BFF. So you've got to draw hard lines. If you say, hey, you can bring anybody anytime you want, if you don't make it an event, it's not going to be as enticing, because, if it's always available, it's almost less valuable. So you do want to draw hard lines. But I want to dig deeper into the whole fall prevention thing, because you said that you actually go into the assisted living, or the, I don't want to call old age homes, but I forgot the exact name that you gave it. Retirement homes.
There's retirement homes and there's assisted living. So there's the one where you're kind of independent. You still have someone that comes and assists you. And then with the retirement homes, you're completely, someone's with you every day, every moment. You're in like a live-in apartment, rather than kind of a community where you're still on your own a bit. So we'll go into both of those. Yeah.
And who do you call? How do you get in there?
Well, that's the other part. And the hard part of this is, well, first, just to jump back really quick, I kind of mentioned there were two things. If you're a brand new trainer and you don't have current clients, that's really hard to start inviting them because you don't have anybody, right? So there are opportunities for you in the very beginning to do just this, like we're going to talk about now. So when you need to know where your demographic is, and if you're looking at the older populations, these are two of the places, the retirement homes and the assisted living, where you're going to find them. The hard part, I think a lot of trainers pursue this, and a lot of the facilities are like, another one of these guys, right? And they want to see, and they want to have they don't want to be annoyed by it, but they want to have you pursue this. But they also want to see that you're legit and you actually know what you're talking about, and be able to come in and I've gone into medical rehab centers, I've gone into retirement centers, into assisted livings, and I bring all my stuff. I bring my whole program, my blueprint, my macro cycle, my sliding scales. I bring all that and I show them, here's what we do, and here's how I progress people, and these are all the things that I want to teach. This is what I would do on day one if we had a class. I do a 3-class series. I do a day 1, day 2, day 3. We could do one every month. We could do it every quarter, like however you guys would want to do it. It just gives me an opportunity to come in, and I really tell them, I'm not pitchy. I'm not here to sell them. I'm here to educate. And if they like what I'm saying and they want to learn more, then I'll give them that opportunity. But I want to be straight and honest with people. And I do come in and I lead with, I have a master's degree, and, I've had 3 hip replacements, and, when they get to see, and I have, 80 clients that are 65 and older, and when I bring that kind of information in, that earns a little bit of credibility to get in the door. For the rookie trainer, the beginning trainer, you might need to start at a rec center, just teaching a basic class there, or doing these, and doing this for free. There are a lot of business coaches that say, don't work for free. You have to establish somewhere. You have to get started somehow.
I agree.
And, in some cases, it's going to take giving away free sessions, inviting people in for free. We do a fall prevention where we do ask our clients to pay, but they are getting programs. They get homework that gets sent home every month. Like, it's really inclusive. And then we have our free one where it's an introduction, So you give opportunities where you think they're needed, and where you think you can, have a opportunity to lay down some roots and to grow into this. I think it's worth doing that for free in the beginning, and really kind of establish yourself within a couple of facilities, or at least one really good one that's near to what you're looking for, near to your facility.
Right. And I think that's something that all the trainers should understand. And most of the people that subscribe to this channel are new and looking to get into the industry. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they're a little bit confused when they call a facility and they say, hey, I'm Johnny and I want to train your clients. As business owners, even yourself and myself, we get calls all the time for all kinds of things. So you have to really break that filter that they have in their mind where they're saying, oh God. So I want to try something kind of fun. Now let's assume that you don't have all that. You have all that social proof right now. Mm-hmm. But if you're brand new and you don't have the social proof, what you do have is a program and a system that you want to present to the owner of the assisted facility or the retirement home. So let's do a little role play, if you don't mind, where I am the owner of the facility and you are Robert from 10 years ago when you didn't have 80 clients. And then I will be a little bit, standoffish, and then you would explain how you would overcome that. Sound cool?
Absolutely. Let's give it a roll.
All right. So let's go ring, 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 ring. I pick up the phone. You're on the other line, and I say hello.
Now, are we, am I coming in to see you, ask an appointment, or are we just talking on the phone?
You just want to get it. So you want to get the ball rolling.
Gotcha.
You have the idea of the fall prevention, because I think that's super, I think that's effective.
Gotcha. Well, sir, hello, my name is Robert Linkle, and I'm a personal trainer here in Sacramento. And I have a older demographic that I work with. This is something I'm really passionate about, knowing the people that are in your facility. I'd love the opportunity to come in and share some of my information with you, and maybe teach some of your individuals some of the information that I have. The big focus that we address is fall prevention, and knowing that the older adults, 70% of 70 years old or older, are going to have some kind of major fall in their life. We really think this is a big component to address. Would it be something you'd be interested in, and letting me come in and chat with you about it and show you the program?
And you know what? I like that a lot, because you're going to have to throw stats at them quickly.
Yeah. And
when they deal with falls, I have somebody that's head of an assisted living facility one town over. She's my client. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest issues that she has. She has to make sure people don't fall. She actually had somebody that just fell like 2 weeks ago, because he was supposed to have an aide help him get out of bed. He tried to do it on his own. Now he's trying to sue. Crazy stuff. So that's probably their biggest area of concern is fall prevention. So if you can explain to them how important it is to you, and then explain to them that you also have a system. Everybody loves systems, and everybody loves solving a problem. And that immediately solves a problem for their clients, as opposed to saying, I want to give them workouts. That doesn't necessarily resonate with them, because they can do silver sneakers, which is very different. That doesn't necessarily solve the problem. Everybody just goes to silver sneakers when they get older, but that's not as much a problem solver, a functional problem solver for people of that age.
Absolutely.
So remember, if you're calling, address that concern that they have, and then give them stats immediately and let them know that you have a system. The second thing, I don't know if you know this, but my first job was as a golf caddy. All right. So I worked at a big golf club, Baltusrol in New Jersey. They actually had the amateurs there that summer. Made a ton of money. I loved it. So I had a lot of golfers, a lot of people that are seniors golf. That's their way of staying active. I guess that's the more active end of the older client tend to shift more toward golf. So in that instance, would you go for would you go for a lead generation strategy or still stay with a referral-based generation, referral-based client generation where you're just saying, hey, let's work specifically on golfing, motions to golf better? How would you approach that?
Well, I have 4 different golf courses around our facility, and in our current clientele, I have 2 individuals that are members at one of them. So they asked me one time, would you want to come in? We do like this mixer every 3 months, and all the members come in, and there's always somebody that comes in and talks and gives them stuff. And they're like, you're always in here spouting off stuff about why our mechanics are this and why our back should be that, and we should swing both sides and yada, yada. Do you want to come in and do a talk? So I went in and did one, and it was a great opportunity for me to do that. But I got up there and I said, you guys, I'm not here to teach you how to be a better golfer. I'm here to teach you how to move move your body better and to get yourself more capable and powerful to be able to play golf better. So I can't teach you anything about your swing, but what I can do is teach you how to swing more powerfully and with more grace and with more, ability. And so I went into, when being a hammer thrower, it's all about torque production, swinging a golf club, torque production. So I talked about that. I found a way to relate. I told them I play golf as well with my hips, with my back. So there's rapport that you can build with that. But I was able to take my philosophy and my program and still connect it into that same, that same demographic, the same lead. It's just with a slightly different aim of what you're shooting for. We have a Ski Strong program. We have the Outdoorsman Strong program. Each one has a philosophy, has a blueprint that are fairly similar. What we're addressing, it's just targeted a little bit different. So I think that's a great way to go, a great opportunity to go in. I've got another buddy in town who does A FitGolf or something like that as his program. And he sponsors events, and he's out there on one of the holes and he stretches people when they're, prepared to do the long drive, that kind of thing. It's a great opportunity. The average person that golfs, I think, is in their late 50s, early 60s as an average age. Definitely finding our demographic there. Tennis is another one you're going to find in there too. Community walking groups, you're going to find a lot there. The charity events, the walk races, all those older pops, they have money to spend on recreational activities like that. So you'll have good opportunities to target your market, target your philosophy towards those individuals and the goals that they're training for.
Got it. Now, if I could piggyback off of that, if you're brand new and you don't have any clients, you just start talking to people about whether or not they golf. Sometimes you're just going to have to open up the conversation because they may have a need that they don't know that you can address. So if you're brand new, in your big box gym, perhaps you want to start to ask everybody, hey, do you golf? That in that you got with the one client that is a member of a golf club just happened to happen, but you're taking advantage.
That was 3 years of work. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're saying is you're going to connect with this one person. You don't even know who they are yet. And 2, 3 years down the line, it could lead to something like that.
Right.
So you're right. I don't mean to jump on you there, but the being in the box gym, so many people look at that as a negative. And when I say I've got, 80 plus clients are with me now, 50 of them came from the box gym with me. I was there for 10 years and I don't see a problem with that. If you're brand new into the industry and you're like, I'm just going to go open my own place, you have no proven product. You have nothing. You're completely starting fresh. Like you need to learn how to train. And that's a great place to learn how to do it and to build a demographic and a clientele. And then your target and you know what you want to do. And then if you're not happy where you're at, you move on. Right.
Right.
So I see no problem with that, but you definitely need to be personable. You definitely have to be okay starting conversations with strangers. And it's, in my opinion, it's been better to come up and approach in the polo in your uniform rather than you're exercising and you're trying to talk to somebody and they think you're being buddies with them. And the next thing you know, you're selling them on something, right? By the way, I'm a trainer here and I could do a free session, that kind of thing. Like you wouldn't just come up and start talking to people and say, yeah, I can work with you on your golf game. If that's something you're interested in, let's sign up for a free session. I got times here, and here. And that's part of our business. Some people look at that and they're like, I don't want to sell. Well, just me talking to you about my philosophy, that is selling. There's a way. Yep. Everything. And there's ways to do it where you're like, you're a cheesy car salesman and I don't like this at all. And you feel icky. And then there are other ways to say that guy's got a service. And if I'm interested, he left me with a good impression, Right. So I always leave with a handshake. I'm here if you ever need any assistance. And I know they're going to be back. Like this is their gym,
Right.
So you just start that relationship. I had one lady that probably 3 or 4 years, every time I'd walk in, I'd give her a wave on the treadmill and she would smile and wave back. And we'd never had any communication other than that. But every single day it happened. And after like 3 years, 4 years, she came in with a cast on. I'm like, what happened? She goes, I fell in the parking lot and broke my ankle. and I need training. Doc told me I have osteoporosis, and all my bones are super weak, and arthritis in my hips, and yada yada, and I want you to train me. And after a couple of sessions, I said, "Why did you pick me?" And she's like, "You always smiled at me. You always waved at me."
Yeah.
And so it's all it had to, it's just something where the other trainers just walk by. So
isn't it crazy how in big box gyms, so many trainers are like stone faced all the time? Like, if you're not their current client, they don't really want to talk to you, but you just have to be, it doesn't hurt to smile, to walk around, to show your face. And it makes an impression. You're always being watched when you're in a big box gym.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. And people are always overhearing you. And if you're talking bad, or you're overselling or undercutting someone else, they charge you 50. I'll do it for 45. Like, people are listening to that.
Oh yeah.
When they're sitting there, and this is like, I'm proud of it, but I'm also not embarrassed by it to say to people, but like in the box gym I was at, I was known as the smart trainer, which made the other trainers that, they were like, well, I guess we're the dumb ones then, but they call you the smart trainer. And it was because every break I had, I was in there with my nose in my book, or I was doing my, I was working on my master's degree. And so I was always studying. And then when people asked me things, I'd be like, I can research that for you. Or I'd start spouting off a report or a study for them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's a great reputation to have, And before I knew it, the other trainers were starting to come to learn from me. And they're like, well, we want to be smart trainers too. So then everything started to roll. But in the beginning, like that is a good reputation, maybe not amongst your peers in that moment, but that's a good reputation to have, where strangers are coming up saying, I heard you talking to that person about their ankle or their knee. You're talking about unilateral dominance and compensation strengths. Can you look at me? You know what I mean? They're always, you're right. They're always watching you. They're always listening. And that's, if they're in the market to shop, they're not going to walk around telling you that. They're looking.
Right. Right. When I was in a big box gym, I was the clipboard trainer, because I love data. When I first started in training, everybody had to write down all the workouts, in real time, because there's no whiteboard, no dedicated training area. So we essentially had a sheet where we filled out all the workouts. And when I got to my new gym, I was the only one that actually wrote down what the clients were doing. I'm not sure how trainers do it when they just go off the top of their head. I need to know what I'm doing, and essentially I had a couple of times where people approached me and they said, you're the only person that actually writes down what people are doing. I feel like you have a plan. Like I do, or if I don't have a plan, I'm at least figuring out what you're supposed to be doing and what you shouldn't be doing based on what you've done in our last session. So the more that you can do to just separate yourself, we don't, as trainers, get a lot of credit. The media doesn't really help at all. They kind of make us to be sex crazed, party animals that just happen to love to work out and, snake oil salesmen. So there's nothing wrong with being the smart trainer at your gym or the organized trainer, because as much as I would love every trainer to love this industry as much as I do, I'd say maybe 10% are going to be worth what they actually charge. And those are the ones that end up with their own businesses. Those are the ones that end up successful. So don't be afraid to separate yourself. You don't necessarily go with the grain as soon as you get to the big box gym, because the big box gyms are all about gaining revenue. And there's an aspect of that when it comes to owning your own business, but you're going to have to put the work in to build a system that people are going to really pay the big bucks for and believe in, and that's going to work for them. That's going to lead them to refer their friends. And that's me getting off my soapbox. So I like it. I like everything that you're saying.
Nice.
So just remember, if you're in a big box gym, perhaps if somebody is a little bit, they're giving you some pushback, you're not speaking their language. Not everybody wants to bench 400 pounds, but if you can add 20 yards to their
drive. Yep.
The drive off the tee.
Take away pain from their back after their blade holes. Yeah. All that helps. That's gonna make a huge difference. That clicks for them. Yep.
Right. So make sure that you speak the language of the demographic that you're looking to target. Now, we've gone, I thought this was going to be a 5-minute video.
Always, yeah.
And we failed again. But this is like top level. I got to stop saying like and I'm going to work on that. I got to get my interviewing skills up. I'm going to watch some more David Letterman episodes.
There you go.
You spoke specifically, and one of the main reasons why you get a lot of attention is that you actually have a system. So specifically for this older demographic, it doesn't operate the same way. Now, you specialize in building systems for this demographic. I know that you have a yearly podcast that can help trainers understand how to specifically target this demographic that aren't getting attention from other trainers because they don't know how. I could pull out any one of my general certification manuals, and in terms of the amount of time dedicated to the older individual, on average, maybe 3 pages, 5 pages out of the entire book. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your podcast that you have going and how some trainers can jump on that?
Well, just like you're saying in the textbooks, this is the reason that our industry is so troubled when it comes to, especially for younger trainers or entry-level trainers, to work with older adults, because they don't know what to do with them. And when you do read about it in the textbooks, it's heavy on they have diseases and they have injuries, and these are all the things you're going to have to deal with. So most people starting out, they're like, I just don't want to do that. Right. Yeah, I'm worried about hurting them or making them worse. So that's what I have a podcast, which is free, or a webcast, excuse me, which is free, and you can subscribe to that on YouTube. Just punch my name in and subscribe. I put up one every week, and those are free. I have a webinar series that I'm doing right now. We did one in 2018. It was very popular. It was once a month for 2 hours, and some of the feedback I got was we wanted more. And so instead of doing two hours a month, I broke it down. We have like a 45-minute one and then an hour and 15. And the one that I do that's a little shorter, it's live in the gym. And I call it a learn by do, but it's more me demoing and showing, here are these exercises, here's how you modify it to the client, why it's for older adults, how you connect it to them. You know, what I call it sliding scales, like in the ABC video we talked about last time. How do you slide these exercises up and down? So I teach all that, and I go through each of the components. I go through the blueprint. And the blueprint design, we all have one. We all have something in our head that we think of and we're like, okay, this is how I write my workouts or I create them. But most of us don't put that on paper. They don't have something that you can show to someone. There's no system to it. And as a business owner, when you are sitting here saying, I'm looking at a new employee to come in, and the employee goes, how do you want me to train? You can just flop this down in front of them and be like, this is it. This is exactly how we do it. And they're like, oh, this is exactly what I needed as an intern or as a rookie. I know how to create stuff now. I have a recipe to follow. Where probably with you and I speak for you, somebody probably just said, go make me money, good luck, and hop out there. And it's like, I don't know what to do. I had everybody doing what I did as a hammer thrower, and people are doing snatches and box jumps, and that's not what they needed, right? Right. So it's all about the philosophy. That's what I teach is and I don't want you to just look at what I do and say, well, I'm going to start doing that. I want you to take your mindset and put it down on paper and implement what you do. Because what I do is the way I like to do it in my facility with my clients and the equipment that I have. And you may not have that. You may have different thoughts on how you want to do it. The whole idea is to create a system that follows, that you can work with, and then you can apply, and then you can assess it, you can test it, you can see if it's working, and then you can make your changes and reapply it. And this is just like they do at college level with sports, professional level at sports. They're macro cycles. Our macro cycle, though, is 12 weeks. It's not 4 years to an Olympic cycle. So basically that's what we cover there. You can find out more info at trainingtheolderadult.com if you'd like to look into that. And then a lot of my webinar, or my YouTube videos are clips and cuts from that webinar series, so you can check it out on there too.
Awesome. So if you did not sign up for Robert's channel on YouTube after last week's information, if you don't sign up, you're basically an idiot. I can say that because, I'm the jerk in this. You're the smart, nice guy. But if you want to get better and if you want to learn how to reach this demographic, sign up. It's better to me than going to a Perform Better seminar, which is very general if you're looking to reach this specific demographic. And do they also earn CEUs for the paid webinar?
They do. Yep. They're NSCA approved, which if you're not NSCA events or NSCA CEU approvals are accepted by every other organization. So you can put it in as your Class C or Class D CEU requirements. And so it's 20 hours with that, 2.0 CEUs. And we have that approved on there. You get your certificate at the end. And if you can't join us live for the webinars, because we do one, every other week live, we send out the recordings afterwards. You get the PDFs and any attachments that I have, any scribbles I put up on the board. We do a picture of that and send it out to you. So you get everything, and then you can watch it at your leisure. We're in between clients, at night before bed, whatever it is. Yeah, it works out real easy.
Awesome. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you're going to go to Robert Linkle on YouTube, and you're going to check out www.trainingtheolderadult.com. I'll put both on the screen, so those of you that are the stupid ones, you can figure that out. But that's about it. I'm the mean one, don't worry. So that's about it. We have to meet again. I'm sure there are lots more things that we can talk about. I think trainers are going to want to know about. So if you have any questions or concerns, make sure to put them in the comment section below. Robert, again, thank you for dropping these golden nuggets of knowledge Always love having you. Definitely going to do this again.
Let's do it again.
We're going to call it a day.
Philosophy design. Let's do that.
Say that again.
Let's do one on philosophy design next time. We'll go through all the pieces. I'm with you.
All about it. All right. So next time we're going to go over philosophy design, and then maybe we'll talk about the transition from the big box to becoming BSF or BFF or whatever you want to be, whatever kind of you want to be. All right. So that's about it. Thank you for everybody for watching. And as always, remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe, stress levels low, get rest. Don't slap anybody. Love your clients. They love you back. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day. Say goodbye, Robert.
Adios, everybody. Thank you.
You have a good one.